We're here today at this really nice Victorian home. It was built in 1853 with Heather, who manages the property, and I guess there's some problems here. How are you, Heather?
I'm doing good, Randall. How are you?
Good. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, I've managed it for about 2 years, and over that time we've had a lot of problems with water coming into the basement. So we need to have some work done probably on the basement walls to keep the water from coming in. Need to work to make sure the sump pumps are working well and efficiently and getting the water out, and then have it drained away from the house so it doesn't come back in.
Great. And the way that we're going to do that is Hazelwood Handyman Services is going to help us. Here's Tim from Hazelwood Handyman Services.
Hi, Randall.
Tim, tell us, what are you going to do here to fix this?
I was called to this house because they have a water problem in the basement. Problems with the outside wall, which is a granite foundation, not a poured concrete foundation, so there's a lot of cracks in it. And it's over the years, people have tried to patch it. They've had, it looks like somebody maybe 15, 20 years ago tried to do an interior perimeter drain on the house, and it probably worked really well for 15 years. But over time, the cracks in the walls cracked again. Water came in, sediment came in, filled in all the stone where the pipe is sitting. And so now the water's running on top of the slab again. You walk into the basement and it's noticeably, you can smell the moisture and maybe the start of mold. So the way we'd go about fixing the basement here is we'd go down in the basement, we'd dig out all the cracks in the granite, repoint them, and use a hydraulic cement in that because it's a stronger cement. We'd replace all the stone where all the sand and sediment has filled in, make sure the pipe is clean that's in the stone, and then we'd inspect the sump pump, make sure that's working well, and make sure the discharge of the sump pump is clean and there's a positive drain away, which this house has a problem with that, and we're just going to put a new ditch to the public ditch to drain all the water away.
Well, that's good. So any suggestions for those of us who have basements and what we do to maintain them?
Yeah, the biggest thing is to go down into your basement. Make sure, because if you go down, you can tell right off the bat if your basement's getting wet just from the smell. And the biggest thing that you can do, the easiest thing you can do, is open up a couple of windows, make sure those windows have a heavy, like a rabbit mesh wire on them so no animals can get in. If you open those up in April and close them in October, 50% of your problems will be gone with your basement. And the other tip is just make sure that your sump pump is working and the outlet is clear so the water will drain away from your house. One of the larger things that people can do as far as a tip is to have a dehumidifier in your basement. If you have a dehumidifier running from April till October, again, you don't have to have your windows open, and your basement's going to stay really dry.
Life in Maine has lots of moisture. Many of us have basements, and when those two things come together, there's no question we need help. Simon says Hazelwood Handyman Services, they're the ones to call.